Davies in the middle. Checks back against Carter and scores. That is atypical for the Meadow Park goal.
Quickly gets it back again. Oh, what a goal! Well, that sums up her season. The Gunners are WSL champions.
Good evening and welcome to the Vic Akers Wonderland podcast. I am your host Lottie and we are back again for episode 12. And it's a bit of a happy moment for us as Arsenal fans. We're through to the semi-finals and what a game the girls gave us. But first, before we dive all into that, I'm gonna welcome my usual co-host and then my very special guest, captain of the Gay Gooners Lucy. And then we will crack on with everything. So, Matt, how are you?
I'm buzzing. I've after everything going on outside, there was nothing better than going into the game on Wednesday and just really enjoying it. And I'm looking forward to talking to you all about it.
And also joining me now, tonight, as always, is my ever-present co-host, Adam. How are you, Adam?
I'm absolutely cream crackered. Thank you, Chelsea. Thanks for that. I wanted an early night on Thursday, and you and Leon, you screwed me over massively. So I'm not happy about that. I went to the game on the Wednesday.
It's a choice whether you watch it or not.
Yeah, but when you want Chelsea to go out, I wanted them to go out But anyway, I went to the game on Wednesday and didn't get back until midnight. And then by the time the Chelsea game had finished, it was another 11 o'clock midnight finish, and I am shattered. So I'm looking forward to the world's longest lie-in tomorrow, and then when I wake up, maybe the game would have kicked off between Liverpool and Man City.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, that's going to be a nice early kick-off. And finally, my final guest, captain of Gay Gooners, and that is Lucy. How are you, Lucy?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
How excited are you here to be on your first ever podcast?
I'm very excited. I'm very excited to be talking about the things what happened last night-ish. I'm more excited about talking about our game, though.
Yes.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
Of course, that goes without saying.
100%. I can completely agree with that. I hate to say it, boys and girls, but I was right. I told you Millie Bright was going to be withdrawn from the England team, and Lottie Wobbemoy has replaced her. But I want her full list. Hey!
There it is.
Here comes the
For all those
shirt.
listening, I am holding up Lotta's shirt from the Euros in the away cutter shirt. So
Nice.
We know what shirt you'll be wearing. You will be wearing when we go to the final as well. But yeah, no, as predicted, Millie Bright has been pulled. She did not play on Thursday night.
Yep.
So I'm kind of really, well, I'm not disappointed. I'm more like, I need Lotte to come back in one piece. I need a goal off her. So for Wolfsburg. But also I want to say massive congratulations to the Arsenal Women's Supporters Club. They've raised over £10,000, which was their target, and they're doing absolutely amazing. So massive well done to them. In other good news, all the yellow cards reset for the next round.
Good.
Which means
That's the best
no
news
one
on the
has a yellow
planet.
card. Everyone is fresh, and we can take a deep breath for Kate McCabe.
Yeah, I was going to say, Kate, well, depending if she's fit enough to get to the game, which I'm sure we'll get to. Yeah, she was.
The game's on. She's got a good 4 weeks. Let's keep it calm.
I've
4
seen
weeks-
it's
4
bruising,
weeks tomorrow.
so
Yeah,
I
it's a
think
bruised
we've got a
fibre.
nice little gap there, so fingers
Yeah.
crossed.
No, definitely.
I've
But,
not heard on Kim Little, though. I've not heard
No,
anything on her yet.
no one's said
That's
anything
a bit. bleh.
Yeah.
Matt has said she is going up for international duty, McCabe, so going to be interested to see what happens over the break. But let's get straight into it. I mean, we 1-0 down. There was 21,307 people at that game. That was 75% of the lower tier full. And we were open all the way around the clock end, but only to the family enclosure, which was absolutely bloody brilliant. It did rain all night, but I managed to stay dry.
I didn't.
And that is what you get for going up to club level and not
It's what you pay for.
It's politely the commoners.
With the prawn sandwich, those tasty prawn sandwiches. Matt knows all about those tasty prawn
I don't
sandwiches.
know. I'd leave the prawn sandwiches. You can keep them.
I haven't been in club level before, so I'm not part of this prawn sandwich brigade. I'm usually.
You're not missing anything.
You're not missing anything.
Matt, you love an atmosphere like I do. You're not missing anything.
I'll buy you a prawn sandwich from Tesco's next time we go. Don't worry. We'll sort you out.
Right, there you go, Matt.
Happy with that.
There's dinner sorted for the semi-final. Yeah, no, but we started off really well, but within 10 minutes we lost Kim Little to a foul from Zanzadrol. I mean, how did she not get a card?
Well, you go, Lucy.
Sorry.
Go for it. No, go for it.
No, it's bugging me how there was no card given for that whatsoever. It's like we was going back to how VAR and the officials in the knockout stages of the Champions League. It's just really frustrating me.
Yeah, no, I think I'm still kind of scratching my head myself. I mean, we've obviously got no news on her. Will she be okay for Sunday? Probably not. Will we see her after the international break? I really, really, really hope so. I mean, what do you think the verdict is on that, Matt?
It's difficult. So I do like Sarah Zadrazil, and she is a very hard worker. Go into those sort of tackles. I think she was pleasantly surprised herself that she wasn't given a card because it was a late challenge. If anything, the way that she walked away and wasn't really as guided as much, it would tend to mean that maybe it was a sprain or something like that. But the fact, I think everyone's seen this image. If you haven't, of Kim literally handing the armband, and it's almost to say, "This is your chance now."
Yeah, on her birthday.
Yeah.
I think it's suited her. It
You
really
guys
did.
are just on my wavelength. That was my next question. So just continue. I mean, how massive was it for her to captain the team on her birthday like that? I mean, obviously it's gutted to lose Kimmy. Like, she's such a vital role in that midfield. But how massive was that for Leah?
It's huge. Just quick on the referee. I was with a friend in the club, and he told me that the referee was the same one we had in the Lyon home game when they missed that the offside and I thought, oh great, and again it was like, I was hoping with this game for, at least we haven't got the same ref from the Bayern away game, and then you saw the incident happen and go, oh no, we got one that's even worse. It was ludicrous because like when the tackle happened, you saw Kim fly through the air. I thought, well, it's ever two things: either Kim has gone for the most outrageous dive on the halfway line to win a foul, or it's a foul.
Not Kim
and the fact that the ref just gave nothing because clearly the ball hadn't been. It was just an utter mad decision, and of course because she hasn't given a decision, when the injury happens and the substitute happens, she can't then retrospectively book Zadrazil. She's committed to that. Even madder was that Lottie got booked for her first foul. That was nowhere near as bad as that was bad.
But I'm still scratching my head on that one. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm scratching my head.
What I love with the Leah thing, with the captaincy thing, is yes, it's very much a passing of the mantle, because I fully expect when Kim Little leaves, don't leave, but when she does leave or retire, Leah will be the captain of the team. She just will be, and that was a beautiful moment, and I think it definitely helped her. Obviously, moving into midfield helped as well. Interesting parallel to the Lyon game was that when Miedemar went off of ACL, that same move happened. It was actually Haffer that came on into defence, and Leah was moved into midfield. And I thought it was a bit strange at the time, because we all thought Nobbs might come on. But it's a move that he stuck with, and it paid off in this particular game, because Leah was now used to playing midfield, and I thought she was terrific. Just she's got the passing and everything, and she's used to play further forward. And now she was part of Volta, and there was a time we thought, oh no, if we've lost Little, we're scuppered. But going into the Man City game, we'll probably play Leah Williams in midfield, and I'm all right with that. I think we'll be absolutely fine.
I'm all for it.
I'm all for it
too.
Especially when she's back healing and on the edge of the box. I mean, that flick was just chef's kiss.
Beautiful.
She plays more like a midfielder with her passing anyway. I think she's so natural in that midfield anyway, and she picks out them balls, which are typically midfielders' balls, So
it's how she started, though, wasn't it? And she's got that attributes to actually just. Hafa does it a lot as well, where they'll literally just dribble into the midfield and no one's tackling them. And you think usually around this time, someone's got to go into him. And before you know it, they're on the edge of the penalty box. And you think, you know what, just go and have a go because no one's closed it down.
Lottie's done that a few times as well, actually. I've seen one at the Emirates.
Yeah, do you know what? She's come on leaps and bounds since that FA Cup final. I was traumatised by that. But my opinion of Jen and Lotta's completely changed now. I can promise you that. I think, do you know what really did help was that Leah Williamson was not sitting deep and allowing Leah Volti to go forward. She was just completely unsettling Bayern, and I think that was really key. Because they didn't know how to deal with her because they were expecting to come up against Kim Little. I mean, all of a sudden they've got this centre back, one of the best in the country, in the midfield. It's like, what do you do with that?
Certain place, she was the furthest player forward. I mean, it was madness. It was like, there was times thinking, oh, crikey, that's Leah on the end of that cross just heading over. And I thought, oh, no, she's in midfield now, isn't she? But she didn't look out of place. You know, we are, you know, there's times when you've watched Arsenal and you just think, you know, square pegs in round holes and, you know, you shouldn't be in that position. That just doesn't work. But this one's like, no, it's versatile. You know, Katie McCabe at left back, Leah in the midfield, you know, Leah Mornham as a striker. You know, the players are stepping up to it because they have to.
That's just the way the game's evolving at the moment.
Got an edge over these teams where you look at, say, Man City, they can't play anyone else on the wing. So if Hemp goes injured, is Laura Coombs going to be all right to play on the wing?
Never forget Georgia Stanway at right back.
Yeah, no, definitely not. I mean, we only had to wait 20 minutes for the goal, and I've got to say, I'm sorry, at the 2 goals, this was the goal. This is the best Champions League goal I have seen.
Oh, and beautiful from Leah in this, leading up to the goal as well.
Oh, yeah, no, Frida, Leon Hudson, Marnham. She scores the Arsenal way. Leah Volti passes into Leah Williams in the box, past the Leon Hudson. Marnham takes the right footed shot just outside the box, top left corner. Maria Gross just watches it. Like, she's in the air and her head turns. There's a photo of her in the Independent. She's in the air stretching for the ball and she's looking behind her. Like, and her face looked absolutely mortified, but it brought us level. All I can say is me and Lucy went absolutely mental sitting next to each other.
Me?
Yes, you.
Yeah.
We went absolutely mental, and it was just. Oh, it was a beautiful.
It was a thing of beauty, that goal. It really was.
It looked like a workout up my seat.
It almost happened in slow motion, the goal. It was just like...
There was about 4 things that I think made that goal. First of all, the fact that we pressed, and then when the press didn't work, we carried on the press, and then we won the ball back. As soon as we won the ball back, Liz then done the flick, and then Frida's scored that goal. As soon as you see that ball starting to make that spin towards, that's going in. And I love Ian Wright's. If no one's seen Ian Wright's celebration afterwards,
I have. Yeah,
it's almost like where he's gone like Beth Mead. Everyone, it's almost like that sort of same energy, and I imagine that's what it was like in the stadium as well. Is everyone's just gone? That's a heck of a goal.
Yeah, no.
It was a wow moment. It really was.
It was, and it was. I was with the best people for it, and it was just. Although there was only 6 of us, like in a row. We were the only ones.
We made our noise count though for 6 of us. We really did.
We did. Even though that I personally got told to shush, and I was like, no, I'm not having none of that. And I will not be singing. What do you think of Tottenham at a women's game? It's Champions League. Tottenham women have never been in the Champions League. Why am I going to sit here? And they never will. And I'm never going to sit there and sing that song because I think Lucy must have got. I think at halftime you went off somewhere. And this person says to me, "Why you're singing all these songs? Why aren't you singing the Spurs songs?"
What's our Spurs game?
Because Spurs are even less.
We don't have to go for the old cliche. It's like when we left the stadium and I was singing, Red Army Arsenal, and it's like tough crowd. They didn't want to know. As soon as someone said, "What do you think of Tottenham?" Immediately they started singing. It's like
it's the noise, and it got to the point where I think between me, you, Lily, Miles, we just said, "Do you know what? I don't care anymore."
It's not like I don't mind singing at the men's games and stuff like that. It's just there's a time. I don't know. There's a time and a place.
There's a time and a place.
There's a time and a place.
Honestly, I think me and Matt had a bit of a discussion with this the other night. There's a time and a place for the Tottenham songs.
North London
but-
derbies.
Yes, exactly.
Chelsea ones as
Exactly,
well.
preferably, or cup ties when we play them. There's a time and
Yeah.
place for that for me. But
Could I just pick up what Lucy said, because that was the last one, which she said it was a wow moment, and I think that is. It goes more than that, because we had just over 20,000 in that stadium. Most of them probably 21,000. Sorry, most of them probably have not been to watch the Arsenal women before.
yeah, no, I give them that, but there's also the concept of you've got fans in front of you. Listen to what they're singing.
No, but
then try and learn from there, because that's how I've learned all the women's songs.
No.
All the games that I've been to, it's how I've learned them.
Sorry, that's not my angle. Sorry.
I know exactly what you mean.
I think
this will say there's 21,000 people there. A lot of them have been before, and you need a moment to mentally attach to the game. Because if that had been a dull 1-0, had been a scrappy thing, they'll come away with nothing. But this goal's trending. I mean, it's on the zone, it's on the Arsenal. It's memorable, and people went to that game and were like, "Wow!" I remember my first Arsenal game at Meadow Park, because Jordan Nobbs scored a worldie of a lob against Birmingham City, and it was like, "Wow, I'm in." Yeah, and that goal could do something similar. There's go thinking, "Wow, I was there to see that incredible goal." And it was a crucial goal as well. And it was so early on. Get the crowd engaged. The first day's completely wiped out, and it just triggers all the momentum. I mean, we saw for the rest of the half, Bayern didn't have a sniff, and we just rolled and rolled. But I think that moment is just, you need so much. We need the sport to grow. We want more people to come, and we're seeing with the figures coming up for the upcoming tie for semi-final that the looks like the audience participation is going to be greater. And you just think moments like that can inspire more to come along, because those that didn't come along will see it on TV and go, "Wow, I want to come along." Clive, PFC's from the Arsenal division, he went to this game, he went to the Man U game, he went to this game, and he was watching it. It was like, this is amazing, this is brilliant, this is and that's what we need. Just moments of beauty and magic like that.
It inspires a generation, that goal. It really does.
Absolutely.
I was just thinking about this as well, and you look at Adam touched on a really good point. That goal's been seen more times than Alessia Russo's back heel against Sweden.
Wow, and it's only been 2 days.
I think it doubled over what it did in less than 18 hours. So it was. I mean, I think of other.
There's a great video of Zinsberger showing it to.
Yeah.
Yes.
At the end of the game, I love that.
That's the Player of the Match award, where she's like,
yeah, the Player of the Match award. Need to work on the celebration, but
yes.
Yeah.
Oh no, definitely. But the thing is, like, I find Frida has her little celebrations, but they're not as extreme as.
Do you know what I like that though?
I don't say extreme. I mean, like, they don't have the same energy.
I like a low key celebration. I know it sounds crazy. Don't be wrong. I've gone crazy scoring a goal, but a low key celebration, I don't know. I just like it.
Or like an Eric Cantona sort of shrug, just sort of like.
Yeah, or like an Alan Shearer, like arm in the air sort of thing. Just very boring, but like
humble.
Yeah, humble.
The thing is, I've always found Frida to be that. So I think her simple throwing her arms out and giving her massive, gorgeous smile she's got.
If you do,
it's enough for me. Do you know what I mean?
She's still got her earrings in. Leah's just turned around and said, "You've got to take off your earrings."
Yeah.
So if you do see her, she does actually take off her earrings. So I take it just before she goes back.
Yeah, I saw some earrings
for
taped up in the Champions League.
Yeah,
season.
They do.
I saw them taped up, so I don't know what the ruling is of taking them out or taping them up.
I remember Maitland-Niles got told off having a necklace in a Europa League tie. It was when we were really bad under Emery. The lines just about like a throw. The linesman comes over and goes, "Excuse me, you've got your dangling. You need to take that off."
Get it off. Yeah. I remember that, but that goal is just a work of art. I've literally watched that a million times over.
Oh yeah.
I could watch it all the time. You know,
liquid football.
So far, I know there's like another 2 rounds. Well,
it was a typical Arsenal goal as well. Like you say, it's like a typical.
It's the Arsenal way.
Yeah, the Arsenal way, you know.
It's a typical Jonas goal because it comes from the high press. It comes from swarming, forcing a turnover. And crucially, it's not a turnover, go back to the halfway line and work the ball. It's turnover. Right, let's quickly get them now in the mid-transition. And it was brilliant. 3 passes. That was it. And suddenly it's in the top bins. And that was a Jonas goal, which is fantastic.
Oh, no, definitely. Speaking of Jonas, he went absolutely bananas on that sideline. And all I keep getting on my social media, Jonas this, Jonas that. It's not any Arsenal fans that are criticising. Like, he's allowed to celebrate a goal. Can you imagine the celebration police going after Jonas? They wouldn't hunt any other manager in the WFA.
This is annoying me, the celebration, please,
They'll
because
go straight after him.
Yeah, it's like
He celebrates more than
Arteta.
Arteta does, and I love it.
you need to celebrate goals. I mean, I know I said about just a minute ago about like a mild celebration, but I do love to see the passion at the same time. It's your team. You've just come back from one down against Bayern Munich, probably one of the best teams in Europe at the moment.
One of the best German, best.
And like they've been unbeaten since November last year. Sorry,
we've handed them their first loss in 15 games.
Yeah, and it's
how
like
good
so.
Does that make you feel?
Yeah, and they've only conceded 4 goals. Like I think by all season, like it's mad.
Yeah,
it's just.
Just think about moments as well. Just to quickly backtrack on what Adam said. My first game was away to Aston Villa last season, and I'm going to annoy Lottie now because Katie McCabe scored a screamer.
The chip over the keeper.
Yeah, I remember that.
Even Mano Rabucci.
By the way, Matt, I'm still jealous of you being present at that game. That goal was just jaw-dropping. I am just so jealous of that. Literally,
later these games bring those moments, and you look at these moments and go, yeah, these are the moments that I'm looking for and enjoy. And I think about things this season. I'm still waiting for Kate. Every time I keep on saying Kate's going to score a screamer sooner or later. She's saving it. I'm sure she's saving it. And if she saves it for Wolfsburg at home in the Emirates when we really need it, I think everyone will go, finally, he scored a screamer.
Do you know what? Maybe not so much a screamer, but she had that great chance in the second half.
Yeah, dancing
she really did.
Dancing feet. I thought she was going to do it.
That would have been a beautiful goal if that would have paid,
I know, definitely, 100%. I mean, not 8 minutes later, Stina Blackstenius, after an absolute pinpoint pass off of Kate McCabe.
The girl can head her a ball.
Heads it home. I mean, Stina turns up for the
do you know what she could have? I was counting
it.
She could have had about 4 or 5 in that first half.
Yeah, I know.
She was like, wow.
I'll be honest with you. By half time, we should have been 4-1 up. End of.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't meant to be. But the point is, we won. We're through to the semi-finals. I don't care. From what I've been reading from like the independent things, and it's a lot of complaining that we weren't 4-1 up, and I'm sitting here thinking, did you not see that first goal? Did you not see the second?
So we got the job done.
Yeah, no, exactly.
But
it's for some it will never be good enough. Do you know what I mean? And it's rather disappointing, but I'd rather live in the moment and enjoy it.
I like that. I mean, there's room to improvement, which is good because we're not the finished product, and we're underscoring from our chances, but that can easily be coached. You're better off that than overperforming your XG, because that means at some point you're going to get caught out like we used to when under Emery. What I loved about this goal, I had that ludicrous run where we were winning despite playing rubbish. Eventually it catches up to you. What I loved about this goal is it was the sustaining of pressure. McCabe keeping the balls coming in, and I was standing with Alistair in the box, and McCabe, the ball came to McCabe, and I shouted shoot, and he was like, no, don't do that. And what was brilliant is rather than just quickly taking a cross in, she took that extra touch to take it to the byline. And it was one of those goals. I watched because we were literally right behind it, but we were in line with it where we were sat.
Yeah.
See where McCabe was.
So you could see your VAR line.
Yeah, well, yeah, we had a perfect view across the goal.
Yeah.
We saw the cross come in, and the moment he left her boot, it was like, it's going to be a goal. Because the ball has bypassed the keeper. You can see where Stina has timed her run to perfection. She's running onto the ball. The ball's not on her head. She's coming onto it. And it's like, we've done it. We're going to take the lead in about 2 seconds. The ball goes in. Yes.
Did you shout heads for it to go in? That is my question.
Oh, I can't remember. I should have done. I was shouting heads a lot throughout the night. I hope I did.
You weren't the only one. But I had Miles to scream tails instead.
Yeah.
So
unfortunately, when Mornham scored, when Lots of Mornham scored a goal, because she's a number 12 and Palova's a number 21, I measured the number and I thought Palova had pulled a worldie out, and I thought that would have been amazing. And then I was like, oh no, it's not. It would have been great for her. But
you had to come from Frida.
Yeah, it was a Frida goal. And then Stina, I am so chuffed for Stina. I'm so, and I think that Conti Cup final has absolutely given her Arsenal career sort of a second wind, because she was.
We were saying that in the Conti Cup final actually, that a goal for Stina would be huge.
It's a spark. It's a moment. I mean, I know she had that moment in the semi-final, and which was fine. But this was the moment. It feels like now she's not snatching at chances. She's not rushing at them. She knows what she needs to do in a situation. I mean, the goal against Spurs was just unreal, and this was just like, don't rush it. You just get over the ball, make contact. It's a goal. And yeah, she's scoring critical goals that are defining games, that are winning games, and that's amazing for her. And yeah, she needs a goal like that. And I thought on the night, her hold-up play, her air play, her running the channels, brilliant. This is exactly what we need from Stina, and what we will need from Stina going forward. But as you say, there is an element of sort of being greedy. We got the aggregate lead we needed. I would have liked more, just so it could have been a more relaxing affair. Like when I went
especially in the last 10 minutes or so as well.
If I'm honest with you, I'll be honest with you. The attempts on goal Bayern had was 4. 3 were off target, 1 was on target, and Manu saved that.
I was going to say, because I don't seem to remember them attacking much. Those
stats just tell you what the game was about. So it was more than comfortable for me.
There were moments when you saw them running, but
in the moment it wasn't.
Yeah,
I think in the moment it was squeaky bum time at the end, I must admit.
Yeah, because as dominant as you can be, you look at the Chelsea game. One moment, it just takes one moment, one slip, and Sam Kerr's in, and it's 1-0. And you just don't want us to be scuppered by that. We had, was it Leah headed over? Lotta so unlucky hitting the bar. Would have loved
Caitlin Ford as well had that lovely chance.
Yeah, Ford in the second half. When Ford missed that ball over the bar, I said to us, yeah, we're not going to score another goal. When that goes over the bar, and it was like 65, sort of 70 minutes, I thought, yeah, we just got to see this one out. We're not scoring another goal in this game. And thankfully, it was enough. And obviously, there's more to work on. But what pleased me more was just the man of the performance. I mean, Bayern are not like a minnow. This is a team that beat Barcelona in Germany. This is a team that tied your points. This is a team that beat Bundesliga, tied points with Barcelona in the group stage. They beat Wolfsburg at the weekend. They're top of the Bundesliga. And we outplayed them in 2 halves in the 2 legs, which is just incredible.
I think this team in Europe in general this season has been fantastic. We've got to look at the group stages with Lyon. I know they wrongly got knocked out last night, I think. But when you look at us out in Lyon, I mean, this team is really special, I think.
And without Miedema.
Yeah,
it makes it better, really. It's just incredible.
I dread to think, it scares me to think how dangerous we would be with them 2 in the team.
I think the players are playing better without them.
I'd actually love the idea of them being back. I think we'd be. I don't even know how to put that.
I think we'd be top of the league if we hadn't have lost them.
I think though that these players have. I think these players have stepped up.
We're the second in the league. We're the second. We've got 29 on goal difference.
Yeah,
the highest is 33. So
I think a lot of these players, like Miedema, will win games for Arsenal because they're so great. I think a lot of these other players have actually raised their game in their absence.
They've stepped up a bit. Yeah, they have.
And it took a while, and that's why we were a bit iffy at the start of the year. But you can see the and they're not saying they're bad players, but the Palova's really coming into a fore. As a bundle of energy of running and pressing. She helped force to turn over the first goal. McCabe looking much better in a left back role, overlapping runs, crucial. I love the moment when Stina scored, when they all run off the corner. McCabe ran over to in fact, she was one of the Bayern fans and was just giving them a load. And it's fantastic. She was really, But a lot of these players now are finding some form, stepping up, and I think part of it is do it for them. But it's almost like it's on you now. You can't rely on Viv to get a late header in. You can't rely on me to get a worldie in. It's on you now. You have to step up, and they're stepping up, and that's really good to see. And it shows how strong the team is, mentally, as a unit.
It kind of clicked, didn't it? I mean, you look at Lottie, and Adam, we were both at the game against Chelsea where we wrongly didn't get that second goal, and we should have won that game. I think that if you look at that, and then you look at now, this team's evolved.
It's a different team.
Yeah, Ford. She's skinning fullbacks for fun. Just the way she's strength. She can twist. She can roll them.
Do you know what?
It's fantastic.
I do think her scoring at the North London derby's helped. She's now 7 and 6 against that lot, and that has spurred her on again. She's been a different player since the cup final. I've enjoyed it, watching every moment of her.
I think this is her season, though, to be honest with you. Yeah. I think she's she's grown into this season. She really has.
She's also gone in for her World Cup spot.
She has,
because she is one of the host countries.
Yeah.
At last season, when I don't know what's going on there, but let's carry on. Whatever. Last season, it happened where Caitlin Ford was just on a goal and assist tally. By the end of the season, she scored 9 goals and assisted 7, I think it was, at the end of it. She's now surpassed that. She's got, I believe, it's nearly 19 goals and assists contributed. So that's on the same as, I believe, one of our others, Might be Viv or
She-
I'm trying to remember who else was up there. I think it was Frida. Frida's on 12, isn't she?
She's having a strong, like last season, she's having a strong second half. Now that she's back on the left, she's not put centre to the right. She's on the left where she's the best. And she, like in the second half of last season, she's found her groove. And it's, I can't wait to see, I can't wait to see her at the World Cup. If she brings that to the World Cup, Australia are going places.
I'd like to see her do it from the first half of the season.
Yes,
I don't want her
consistency.
to have that where she's like where she does this inconsistency. We need to see the consistency now.
We just needed to play on the left. That's the thing. When Jonas is playing her in the middle, I feel it does nullify her. But now she's playing in the right position consistently because we've got Stina's fit and we've got Jodie Taylor as cover now for her, not in the Champions League but in the WSL. Yeah, we are seeing the best of her.
Oh no, definitely 100%. I mean, I just long may it continue. Long may it continue. I do want to kind of bring attention to Leah Williamson and Jonas Eidevall's comments at the end of the game and their realistic vision of moving games permanently to the Emirates. Are we ready for it?
No.
Did you say permanently moving to the Emirates? Sorry.
Yeah. So
yes.
So V and I actually mentioned this a few. I think one of the Arsenal, I think it might be in the Spurs game. He said in the halftime interview, it's long-term goal, and it's absolutely the right direction. I remember when after 2019, I had this naive view. I was like, yes, put them all in Emirates now. They should, we don't want them in Meadow Park. But the truth is just I don't know if the fan base is fully ready for that. And as much as we can celebrate, yes, we got 40,000 in for Spurs and Chelsea and Man U, and we got 20,000 in for the Wolfsburg, for the Bayern game. You think back to me and Lottie, we were both there for that Wolfsburg game the season before. We only got about 5,000 in. I just think you also have to look at yes, we're getting those high attention to big games, but what about when West Ham come, when Leicester come, when Villa come? Are we going to get that same draw? Because the draw is not just because of the women's game, it's because it's a big tie. And there's no point doing that if we're going to get 3,000 in. So it's...
But Meadow Park is sold out every single game now.
Absolutely, you can't get tickets for it.
I can't get tickets. My last game of this season is Leicester. I couldn't get City tickets. I can't get Villa tickets. Leicester is now sold out as well. We just can't get the tickets.
We're stuck in this perfect void between we haven't got enough space at Meadow Park, but we can get the audience in for the bigger games, but I don't think we can get necessarily the audience in for the lesser games. For me, if we can get, I probably won't be next season. Maybe the season after, maybe 2 or 3 seasons we were doing it. I think they're going to have to up the roster. I think next season, they'll up the roster. So we have 3 WSL games. I think it'll have to be maybe 4 to 6. Maybe throw Man City in there. Maybe throw Villa in there as well. And just
so basically, you're saying 50% of our home games in the Emirates now for next season.
I think
there's only 11 home games a season, so
exactly
that's about 50%.
So the season before it was 2, was Spurs and Chelsea.
Yeah.
This season it was 3. I think it'll go up to 4 or maybe 5 or 6. The only way you can do it is to experiment by saying, right, we'll try this game at the Emirates and see if the Arsenal fans take it. And if we're winning and we're scoring worldies and, more people are coming to these games, then it'll make logical sense. If the price is, at, £12 for a men's ticket or an adult ticket, or if it is, or £6.
I think it's between 9 and
12.
£9.
9 and 12, and 30 to 35 for a club level ticket. I mean, why wouldn't you? And people who went tonight, they'll come again, and we just got to get. And it's just going to snowball. It's too soon for now, but I think we are close. I think at some point they're going to have to plug on Meadow Park.
We could even possibly look at maybe leaving Meadow Park, so maybe using a slightly bigger London ground before the transition to the Emirates.
Yep.
So that you can get the crowds in, because obviously we're struggling to get tickets for Meadow Parks, but we've not built in the crowds quite enough to get in the Emirates just yet. So it could be a possibility looking at a smaller London ground.
Yeah, no, that's completely possible in my opinion. But there's also the flip side of the coin. You've got players like Lucy Parker from West Ham, who's criticised West Ham openly for not letting the women use the London Stadium since 2019. They've never been in there.
Which I think is disgraceful, actually.
It is. It's a really big miss, because you see Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, you see Villa at their ground, Reading, you share the men's pitch.
Leicester,
and they're not even a Premier League club. And then you've also got Leicester as well.
And Hammers fans would go as well.
Yeah,
they would turn out in their droves. They're like really good supporters.
Yeah, no, exactly. The away fans, especially the London-based ones, they would come. I know. I'd make my trip over there. And I Lucy would as well, and so would Lily and Miles. We'd all make the trip there. because it's another big ground. Yes, it may belong to the men, but it should.
I think that also shows as well with the equality. You know, when I was going back to saying about Arsenal, you know, we've always shared training facilities with the men, and it's almost, you know, it's not giving the equality factor in West Ham for me, and it's quite disgraceful when you look at we want equality in football, and especially in women's football. You know.
I also think with that win at Bayern, what did help is we're used to playing in the Emirates Stadium now. This team is used to it.
Yeah.
We used last season I think was the first time in like ages we'd even set foot in the ground, and I think in the games against Wolfsburg and Barcelona, it showed that we weren't fully au fait with sort of playing in there. This season, playing Bayern Munich, the players I felt fully comfortable with the pitch. You look at, let's say, Chelsea and their game against Lyon. I think they've only played there once this season, and maybe once more. I think it was in the Spurs game a few seasons ago. It was like their third ever game at Stamford Bridge.
They didn't look comfortable playing at Stamford Bridge, I must admit.
No. Whereas Arsenal, they seem to welcome the size of the stadium and the audience. And I think that does put us in good stead that we've got. I think we must have played at least 6, maybe 8 games so far. I'm trying to do the maths on my head. We did 2, 4.
I'm trying to work it out.
3, 6. Yeah, we must have played about. We're going to play about 10 games now within 2 seasons at Emirates Stadium, and then we obviously did one a few seasons ago.
I think we started to really look comfortable, you know, when we played Tottenham there last season. But again, it was I know no disrespect to Tottenham, but it was Tottenham, and they're not exactly setting the world alight at the moment.
That's going to sell. So this is the other side of it. So, for example, sorry to cut you off there, Lucy.
No, go.
I'll give you an example of Liverpool and Everton, who are quite clear near me. They both used the Merseyside derby for their stadium games this season. What's to say, why not? Can they try an Everton versus a West Ham at Goodison Park next season? It would probably do a little bit more good. Whereas last season Everton were playing Man City at Goodison Park, that didn't do very well, I think.
No.
In comparison. Whereas you had Liverpool, who were in the Championship last season, they didn't really have a game at Anfield. Their game at Anfield was the game against Everton, and that got them 25,000 in the stadium. So it's about making sure that both teams are decent enough that you can compete with them. So what I'm kind of against at the moment is, say, Liverpool taking on Bristol were most likely going to be playing. If Liverpool decide next season they're going to have 2 games, the Merseyside derby and then Bristol, it seems like a cheap copy, because you're basically just using it as an excuse as to, we're going to batter Bristol City next season. So
going to make an example of them.
Yeah,
So
it's good. It is good to have fans getting away with a win.
Then again, we kind of do that to Spurs every season, so I can't really talk.
There's a difference though with Bristol. Bristol will learn to develop their players, whereas at we've talked about Tottenham so many times, like they've got so many world-class players, but they can't do it.
It just can't seem to click. There's just no click. What I was
going to say, Sorrel, about you were saying about you've lost a program behind you.
Yeah, I know. I had it drop.
What I was going to say about your like a stadium, a bigger stadium, like Man City got the Academy Stadium where they play their games. It's a bigger ground dedicated solely for the women's team. So we have an agreement with Meadow Park, and I think it was a 10-year deal signed 2017, which expires about 2027. So we've got to hang around there for a few more years. But the problem is if we are planning to move to Emirates Stadium, we can't exactly just like agree to have a deal in the ground that we know we're jettisoning in 2 years' time. And I think Arsenal have even thought about maybe building a stadium, but again, land and money, and it became a bit of a mess.
Do you know what? That gives us a few years to probably grow it a little bit more to see. We've got time.
Oh, there goes the other one.
Let's not talk about my Arsenal programs behind me.
It's been haunted.
Back to it.
Lottie's being haunted. This is a poltergeist about.
I mean, I was thinking more something like, you know, you're looking at QPR Stadium. I can't, you know, or the Valley Charlton. You know, something around that size, possibly for a game. You know,
Brentford maybe,
or Brentford even. Yeah, I forgot about Brentford.
I was there for you, Rose.
How many seats is the Hive?
We've been in the Hive before. We actually used to play in the Hive.
Is about 5,000, I believe. They are.
That's still too small.
And it's awful.
They're expanding it.
So, I know.
It's like Brisbane Road. It's awful. It's like
Brisbane Road is worse.
Yeah,
try and tell me otherwise.
If we are to go there, you've got London Bees who play there. You've got Barnet play there. You've got the Academy that play there as well. and then you've also got the Astro pitches on the outside. It's too small, and even if you develop it, you need to turn around to Barnet and say, look, you need to sort out your pitch. Brisbane Road, perfect example.
Yeah, no, definitely. But I'm going to quickly move on and touch on the other games. There is one in particular that I know we've all got a lot to say about.
Which one's that?
I believe it's Barcelona-Roma, actually. I think it is in the end.
I actually completely missed Barcelona-Roma, but I was hoping for that Cinderella story.
Yeah.
Of course not. Barcelona being Barcelona, 1-6-1 on aggregate.
I didn't see it. I was asleep on the train home.
Well, it's every. I think the problem is when you go to the Nou Camp, you know that because the women are so dominant in their league and everything, they know they're going to get a huge following. It happened last season in the El Clasico.
Yeah,
oh my God, the crowd they bought for that game. I mean,
it's huge. So we knew that was going to happen. It was about how these teams go and compensate, because part of the men's, let's say as is, the men's team have been rubbish in Europe for a long time. Lottie's trying not to laugh there.
Vengeance. Justice.
Just to put it into perspective, Roma have only been going for 3 years now. They got promoted last season, and this is got into Champions League. This is their first season in the Champions League, and they've outdone everyone this season.
Oh, yeah.
And the messages and everything from the players, they were saying thank you for everything. The fact that we've gone all the way from Glasgow to Barcelona, Santorini, who scored their only goal of the game, it meant more to them as a team than it would have meant for anyone else to be there at that side. I'd almost say, imagine I was speaking to Rose about this, Adam's friend. The Dutch league is still amateurish. It's not. It's almost like a Ajax or a Feyenoord. Actually, Feyenoord would be a perfect example, because Feyenoord had been going for around the same time. Feyenoord getting to the same stage and playing the Barcelona and being in the same position. That's the impact that they've had, and they've had a huge.
Definitely.
And
definitely. I mean, I saw. Is it? Sorry, I can't pronounce her name.
Santorini.
Yes, Santorini's goal, but she kind of just took the mick out of Leon, didn't she? It was a really nice goal. It's just the build up to it and stuff. I've only seen like that clip. I've seen nothing else. But the fact that they come so far and they scored against Barcelona, that is just, it's massive.
I missed the goal. Was it an own goal, or was it
no? Santorini. Andressa found Santorini on the counter, just the right of the centre, just off the right, and then in the centre, she took the ball to the centre, I should say. Teased Leon, Swain on the inside and out, then drilled it into the bottom corner.
I saw some weird. It must be those pesky DAZN stats, because I swear I saw from somebody it said it was no shots on target for Roma, and I thought, they done what we did like in 2011 and scored.
It was definitely her goal.
It's obviously a cock up on the system then, but fair play to Roma. We wanted them to get a goal. They deserved a goal in the first leg. Very unlucky.
I don't know how they didn't score in the first leg.
Yeah, a bit like us, really. But no, hats off to them, and hopefully we get to see a bit more of them. It's good to know there's sort of two big Italian teams now. Obviously, Juventus. There was a piece about the Joe Montemurro and how Juventus are sort of trying to grow their Italian women's football, and they've sort of been a major sort of power for quite a few seasons until recently, when Roma have sort of looked like they're going to pull the rug under them and sort of steal a march. So
top of the league at the moment.
Exactly. So now, rather than just rather than being a one, like let's say in Spanish La Liga, where only one team wins every season, you've now got a bit of a competition.
Is that a criticism?
It'd be nice to see what happens next season, actually.
Because Barcelona are rightly good, but you create Lyon being really good created PSG, Juventus being really good created Roma, Arsenal being really good created Chelsea, and Barcelona being really good looks like it's created Real Madrid. As well, Chelsea and City, and briefly Liverpool, and then they faded off. But the strength, for the ultra strength for these one teams, it does generate an antagonist, which you need to, otherwise it's just, Barcelona winning every season, and then no one wants to watch that.
Oh, it's good to have competition, I must admit.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's not as nice.
think it's also a case of, before you invest in the top flight leagues, you need to look down the pyramid. That's where the money should be going.
Yeah.
Grassroots and up, and then
it should work its way up as opposed to working its way down.
No, 100%. Like, for example, the Lionesses, they play across the WSL out in Europe, wherever, and if they got all this money, you don't want all the sponsors pumping money into the top, because eventually the top is going to retire.
You need to sort the bottom out first before you get to the top.
Jonas made this point in a press conference. They were talking about money and investment, and he said, and I think maybe they were talking about goal line. I think it was to talk about goal line technology and the fact that it wasn't used in Bayern Munich, and he was trying to say, should we not be spending money on goal line technology? And he said, no, the money needs to go to grassroots football, not under heated pitches, and not VR. It should go to the grassroots football and the academies, and saying that's where the money should go. Because the thing is, investing at top, it's short term. You immediately see the results, and everyone likes it. Whereas you throw money at grassroots, it's long term. But for us in the present, it feels like we're throwing money to void. We don't see the fruits of that labour until 5-6 years down the line, and we're an impatient bunch. We can't wait that long.
No, of course not. Like, I'm the most impatient person ever. I want more games at the Emirates. I got more chance of getting a ticket.
Yeah.
Adam's just reminded me as well, our academy at the moment are just levels above everyone else.
Oh yeah, shout out to the academy, unbeaten.
Yes,
unbeatable season,
unbeaten, and they got a shout out.
And they're also in, is it the FA Youth Cup as well? So it's huge at the moment.
Unbeaten, that's what we do, isn't it?
And Kelly, and we were saying it live the other night, Kelly Smith has returned to help them out.
Yeah,
so
that reminds me, I got to meet Kelly Smith.
And me.
She went completely all fan.
And
not
just Kelly Smith, not just Kelly Smith. Who else did you meet?
And Mr. Ian Wright.
Mr. Ian Wright.
I did disturb him after he's eaten his meal, but Lucy as soon as he's finished, Lucy was straight in there.
I couldn't miss him again. I wasn't letting him go.
Which was alright.
What did he go for? Was he a burger or was he a hot dog?
I used to bowl of chips.
He had like a Thai meal. He had a Thai meal.
A Thai? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
I didn't actually look what was on his plate, but the food they serve is like, you can get the odd English burger and stuff, but it's
Oh well. But yeah, that was, and then what was the other game? Oh yeah, Wolfsburg PSG, which was
Do you know what? That 2-1 in aggregate to Wolfsburg.
Fair enough.
I'm happy with Wolfsburg,
Yeah.
Do you know what? We'll get on to that. But Diani's first goal. How was it disallowed? It wasn't offside.
It was. I could see from the first replay before the lines were drawn. It's like, yeah, she's offside.
It was that good. I didn't want it to be offside.
It was the through pass. It was like when Stina got threaded through against Spurs. He was just clean through, and I just thought, fantastic. We got a game on here now. And then no, it wasn't. And then the bigger problem was that, I mean, the goal that Wolfsburg scored, the pop goal was just brilliant. It was like top bins, fair play. Yeah. And we know she's great. She should have played in the Euros final, but, she saw Beth Mead and got scared and got injured. I do think if Pop had, I do think that's a lot of luck in our Euros final. If Pop starts that final, I do fear that may have been a different game. We got very lucky there, but hey ho. Pop score was brilliant. Thankfully, PSG did get an equaliser on the day, and was it Diani again? It was. And then she went off with a fractured collarbone, didn't she?
Yeah, no, she kind of went over. She looked like she dislocated her shoulder initially.
Yeah.
And then it came out that she broke her collarbone, so she's now out for 6 weeks. Hopefully she'll be all right for the World Cup if she comes out of retirement, and I think she will. Now they got rid of their crazy manager.
A lot of players have come back. Renard's come back. Sommer's come back. Henri's come back. So yeah, it looks like it's some bridges are being healed there.
Definitely. But hopefully she'll be back for the World Cup, because I do enjoy watching that French team, especially the likes of Cascarino. I absolutely love Delphine. I think she's bloody brilliant.
Salute, if you think about it, a lot of them are in their late 30s now. If you think about it,
it is kind of sad, but they're the generation that inspires the next. And if they're like that now, what is the new generation?
Absolutely,
that's how you got to look at it. It's the same with us.
Yeah,
I mean, you look at Ellen White going, and just that's really sad. But the person you've got to replace Ellen White is Alicia Russo. But and we still haven't quite replaced.
It's going to be Lucy Bronze,
Jill Scott, and
Walsh. I think that'll be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Stand
no.
by.
Yeah.
someone tall to be able to head those balls in.
Yeah, definitely. Someone tall and someone
Katie
that's not
Zellum,
just good.
it's her moment. It's going to be Katie Zellum.
Right, I'm going to go in the comments.
Blocked.
I'm going to get some abuse in the comments.
To be
So
fair,
I've got no. Let's just not talk about Katie Zellum tonight. We
I
gave
just
her
wanna-
a load of stick on
Yeah,
the last
I know.
Let's
I
be
want-
nice.
What I want to. Okay,
I
so
think the people know we all really, none of us are fans
bringing
of Katie Zellum.
bring it back to what we were talking about, which is the Wolfsburg game. I did feel with PSG when Diani went off injured, their chances sort of went with her.
They dwindled because I did feel after her first goal got disallowed, she thought to herself, right, I'm not having this. We're going to go again. So all of a sudden, their game completely changed. I only managed to watch the first half hour of that.
Yeah.
And they looked good then.
The second half,
just as Diani scored, I had to pop over onto a podcast. So yeah, no, I didn't watch the rest of that game, unfortunately.
Second half, Wolfsburg were all over them. They hit the post 3 times.
Yeah.
Pop had one of the most unbelievable misses, like miss of the season stuff. Like
it looks like someone. I've got to go and watch some highlights.
It's tweets about it. It's unreal. So remember when Odegaard missed a sitter against Villa? And Nketiah robbed the ball, cut it across.
Yep.
Odegaard, imagine that, but in the 6-yard box and hits the post and goes away. It was honestly the ball.
That sounds atrocious.
The ball comes over the top. It's headed across, and the goalkeeper's scrambling across. Pops there, 6-yard box. Right, here we go. It's 2-1. Away you go, and you see the ball. I don't know how she does it because she's so experienced and so brilliant, and she's already got 1 goal, which was a lot harder to score. But they did a lot. There was a crossbar hit. There was a fluky effort from a wing that almost got the keeper out, which was again incredible. But Wolfsburg just couldn't score another goal, and it was one of these weird games. When you saw it was 1-1 about midway for the first half, you never would have thought it would have finished 1-1, but it did. PSG had a few like half moments to box, but there was just no composure. Traore, I mean, apparently she's a really young sort of prospect, but she's very much like her namesake in the Wolves team, the men's team. She had a brilliant moment when she was playing clean through, ran on the ball, and then just dallied, and the chance was just gone. And I think, Wolfsburg did sort of get away with one in the end. But if I'm honest, from what I saw on those 2 legs, there's nothing Arsenal really needs to be afraid of. The only thing is just pure experience. They know they've won semi-finals. We've only done it once. They've won many. But they're a team that are in the Frauen Bundesliga, they are below Bayern Munich. So
but they weren't.
Yeah, now I know.
A few weeks back, Bayern were well down the table from what I've been reading.
Yeah, but I think this isn't Barcelona. I think Arsenal can go into that game and just feel like, well, we can beat German opposition before. I do think they might need to get a better result in Germany than we did against Bayern Munich. To get a draw in Wolfsburg.
I think we need to make our pressure count.
Yes, we need to
actually play like we did in the Bayern games. Make the pressure count, and I think we'll be all right.
I think Leah Williams is going to be the one to upset them again.
Yeah,
because they're used to her being at the back with Rafa, so I think that she's going to be very key to it.
Score a goal and the correct goal this time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still hope that a lot of these players, they're going to look at the experience that we did have at Wolfsburg, because fair, you look at that game, it wasn't really a 2-0 sort of game. We were really in it, but we just couldn't get that goal. And then obviously the second goal sort of killed us off. And like you were saying, experience, but then look at those moments, like how we've done in Europe compared to how we did last time in Europe, considering a lot of these players.
We are so much better. I mean, the experience for it. I mean, if we got Volti, if Volti's not to play in this one, we might actually have a chance. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, and Christian gets through passport control.
Yeah. If we get
a massive shovel and I'm getting a wheelie bin, so way or another, she's getting in that stadium.
As Shidel said, we got the away leg. From our perspective, away leg is actually first. We finished the semi-final at Emirates Stadium. You cannot stress the value of being in that fortunate position.
Being at home on the second leg is in our advantage.
Yeah,
I think so. I said that I wanted the second leg to be at home.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, did
and
work
it's
for
a
a
bank
men's team
holiday
against
weekend
Lisbon,
as well, which makes it even better for us.
First of May, May Day. Hopefully, it'll be the Germans who are shouting May Day by the end of it, but we'll see.
Hopefully, we'll see. I mean, the English teams seem to like the merry month of May, so But on for the quarter-final tie, the most controversial one. Chelsea played Lyon at the Bridge.
Oh dear!
After 120 minutes, it was sat at 2-2. 4-3 on penalties.
Yeah.
I tuned in from the last half hour all the way through to the. I just right.
I felt like a Leon fan last night.
Oh yeah, no, me and Lucy were just on the same wavelength last night, going mad at each other in the WhatsApp group. The rest of the WhatsApp group wasn't talking; it was just us. But yeah, Gile scored in the 77th minute. Horan picked up a loose ball on the right. She clipped it low, bouncing across towards the near post. Giles or Giles? I'm not 100% how to pronounce their name. So if anyone wants to correct me,
Gilet jacket or something you wear when it's cold. Is that what Gilet is?
Yeah, it's That's just
used to wear.
yeah, yeah. Okay, you guys who know who I'm talking about.
Yes.
She'd only been down there for a set piece. She got in front of Magdalena Eriksson, pinged the ball through to Berger at the near post. It hits Berger's chest and ricochets into the goal, which is absolutely glorious. It seems that their own goalkeeper has sent them off. Can you imagine the headlines if that had actually happened? But no.
No.
In the 120th minute, +2, because there's added 2 minutes.
Oh, De Bruyne scored as well. Don't forget, De Bruyne actually scored a goal as well.
That was a good goal as well.
Yeah, that was a very good goal.
It was a really
fantastic goal.
Very shamefully.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful goal. Adam, do you want to remind me how that went?
Well, what happened was it was a second half of extra time. You could tell fatigue was creeping in, and Leon had a bit of fresher legs. It's a ball across, and you can see that Magda's legs have just gone, and she's wrong-footed, and she stretches out a foot for the ball. He can't get to it, and suddenly the defense is gone. De Bruyne's first touch, other feet, and then I don't think she actually hits the ball cleanly enough, but the direction wrong foot's Berger, it's drilled across into the far corner, and at that point you're thinking, right. Here we go. Leon, they're in the lead. We're all set. Just a few minutes. We're all cushy. It's all fine.
I had the tweet ready.
It was De Bruyne's first, I think it's one of De Bruyne's first Champions League goal for Leon or something, which a player of that notoriety, I'm really surprised by. But I'm guessing she was a recent transfer. I don't know what her previous club record has been. But yes, we get to 120 minutes. There's 2 minutes on the clock. You're thinking, okay, 2 minutes on the clock. That's it's not 7 minutes like it was for us. That's child's play. It's 120 seconds. But Leon's game management just went out the window. It was, we think about how we were keeping it in the corner and all that nonsense, all that housery. And Leon just lost it. They lost the nerve completely for 2 minutes. Chelsea were just.
I think it was more of a lapse of concentration.
Well, Chelsea were able to get aerial balls in the box to keep the pressure on, and I can understand after 90 minutes, you'll be more disciplined. 120 minutes. I said about Magda making mistakes. It's clear that the Leon team was also knackered, and it was just such a lazy. If you're fresh coming, but not to get that close to Lauren James, she was going nowhere. You didn't need to be that close to her, but as an experienced defender that any forward in that situation is going to hit the deck under the slightest amount of contact. I'm not saying that's diving.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because whether she had the minimum of touches, she was looking for that penalty.
100%.
Blatantly looking for that penalty.
Do you know what she actually reminded me of? She reminded me of her brother. Her brother's done that exact same thing.
Yeah.
I wonder where she learned that from.
Yeah. As an Arsenal fan, I've seen us, not get penalties for things like that, which is rather frustrating. But because it was so soft, but the moment the VAR came in and it went on, and he just realised that Leon. What
really annoyed me was the ref was absolutely having none of it. She went, no, she knew it was
no, it's fair enough. I
want to know what happened in the VAR room. I want to know who was in that room.
I'll tell you what annoyed me. Now, if they're going to go to VAR and give it, that's fine. But it annoyed me when the Leon players were surrounding the referee, because I know I didn't agree with the penalty being given, but don't surround the referee like that. The referee's made the decision and you're just prolonging something there.
There's a bit more to it than that, actually.
Prolonging the inevitable.
There's more to it. There is more to it. I found out because the ref had said this penalty is actually the last kick of the game. So no Leon player. All the players had to walk away from the box. There couldn't be anyone running in for a rebound or anything like that. It was the last kick, the last touch of the game. So that's why they know.
I can understand the frustration a little bit on that one. Then with it being the last kick of the game.
It was ridiculous. 8 minutes. It was 6 minutes after the final whistle gone. It was like when Man United scored a penalty after the final whistle at Brighton. It was just bonkers. But at the same, as much as we were frustrated about what happened, what an advert for the Champions League. I mean, that's iconic drama there.
No, it is definitely a good advert for the Champions League.
Right, because VAR had taken it away. Yeah. If you think about it, so they should have carried on for those extra minutes, but they didn't, and it just seems bizarre that that it stopped, and then they've gone, right, okay, this is the final kick, but we're not going to carry on. It should have.
It is.
Played on.
It is
I think
annoying.
time management in games is disgusting. Actually, truthfully,
Yeah.
I don't think I think if we had a stopwatch and stop the top, I think it should be like rugby. Stop the clock each time the ball goes out of play.
I think it should be like the World Cup, and we should have 100 minutes of added time at the end for all the time wasting.
Well, there was that ref who added a stupid amount of stoppage time. I saw it on Facebook, and I think he's been fined for it. He added like 40 minutes stoppage time or something.
Oh, fantastic!
Oh yeah,
I mean,
great for the fans who are there, but I mean,
isn't
if you
it?
think you're going to get a victory,
well,
Yeah,
I can understand that if Emi Martinez was playing.
No, but imagine like playing 120 minutes, going through all those penalties, and your reward is to play Barcelona.
I know. I mean,
It's
if you want
just
to be
insane. Like,
I wouldn't want to
think
play Barcelona in the
Matt
semis.
had said something to me the other night, like, can't wait to see them cower in front of 97,000 fans.
I'd rather play
Only
them in a
20
one-off game in the
20
final
odd
and
will be
then go to the new camp.
fans.
I'd rather play them in a one-off game in the final than go to the new camp.
Yeah, Chelsea did that 2 years
We
ago.
all
Didn't
would.
it? Great. Chelsea did that 2 years ago. Didn't end great for them, did it?
Yeah, but no, it's not looking great for them now with the people they've got out. They're going. Can you imagine them going to the new camp without Millie Bright?
Luke,
Without the likes of Frank Kirby?
Lottie, am I sensing a sense of like sympathy, empathy towards? Are you taking
No.
pity on them?
No.
I mean, I got told
I'm-
told off for
living-
showing
I am
compassion.
I'm living through a Barcelona fan. Batter them. Be done with it.
You know
I
what's
do
going to make it even more worse for them, for Chelsea? Alexia Putellas is going to come back, and you can
Yes.
guarantee that she's going to make that return.
That is
at
the
the
only
new
reason
camp.
I will be watching that game is
Yeah.
for that. She's one of my favourite European players.
No, she's been.
Right.
She's
Oh
been
no, she is a
job.
joy to watch.
Yeah, no, she is. Although
She really is.
She's not fun to play against when it's your own team. But I think, do you know what? To sum up that game, I'm all here for the drama when it's not my own team, and I'm not
Yes.
under that
Yeah.
level of stress.
I tell you what though,
That's
That little sentence there was inspired by an Ian Wright tweet, and he's
Yeah.
like, "It's all great when it's not you."
yeah, but I wouldn't have minded so much if it had been a game that we didn't have, like, because I had a stake in being anti-Chelsea. I've learnt my lesson. I'm now anti-Chelsea in all games. If there were two
Yeah,
teams,
I hope you've learned your
Yeah.
lesson. That's
I-
why
I-
you're fishing for sympathy off me. You
Yeah,
cheeky
exactly.
What's it? You absolute cheeky what's it?
Yeah,
You will
I know.
never ever see me sympathising with Chelsea ever.
But if there'd been
Ever.
two teams which I had no for or against with, it would have been like thrilling to watch. But because obviously I was.
Oh, if
obviously-
it
yeah,
if it was if
If it was Leon PSG, I would have just loved
yeah,
it. It would be
I
fantastic.
would have, as a neutral, those
Yeah.
games are great. I mean, there's massive players that like Cascarino, and also who's the other one? Is it Jonsdottir?
Oh yeah, the forward for Wolfsburg. Yeah.
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 I enjoy watching them. I was watching the Euros and I picked up their names from there. And I'd actually forgotten about Jonsdottir until Matt mentioned it yesterday. And I'm like, oh,
remember
I'll
that
keep an eye out for her. But it's those big names from the Euros that make you watch the domestic ones.
Yeah.
I know it's European, but it's still domestic compared to the Euros. But it's little things like that. You watch these players, and I mean, I've sat there and thought about it. I'm like, can we get Delphine to the Arsenal at all? Or even
Well, there was a certain player on Twitter who was quite positive towards
Agent Rice.
I mean, Agent Wright, he's in there, isn't he?
Agent Wright. He's make sure she makes the right choice. And
Yeah, I know. We saw that at half time. Got very, very excited. She might be coming over from Benfica, which is like, please do.
Fingers crossed.
It's really
Another Portuguese-speaking player.
Yeah, I mean, it was what was it, SD Arsenal or something like that?
Yeah,
was
it Jess Silva? Was it
Jessica Silva, yeah.
Jessica Silva? Yeah. I think I remember her at the Euros, and I think she was one of their really good players in the Euros.
She was. The name rings a bell, but I didn't watch much of them. It was more of a case I was watching France, waiting for them to go out secretly, but enjoying their football.
Same.
We're going after the Canadian striker for Benfica, and now Jessica Silva's all of a sudden popped up. It's almost like one or the other. But
Let's just go cherry picking. We'll take two at a time.
well, usually our strategy is we're going to take one from the group stage and
Yeah.
That's a good point, actually. Who are we shopping from in the Champions League this season? Yeah, I mean, if we get,
Well, that's true because we picked up Marquise last time, didn't we?
We did.
Guys.
So So from Bayern Munich, who do you want? Georgia Stanway?
No.
Sandra Seal? Maybe she apologises.
Long as it's not Vigos Dottir, I don't care. I was not impressed with her. Like, I got so irritated the way she was pushing, shoving, and getting away with things in that game. I don't want to see Vigos Dottir ever again. Don't like her.
Get Shirley in.
Yeah, I'll take Leah. Yeah, I'll take her.
Yeah, surely we get her this time.
I'll have another Leah. Yeah.
You can't have too many Leahs. Just.
But the thing is, if you're moving Leah into midfield, it's Leah and Leah in the midfield. So
Leah, no, three Leahs. We could have a Leah.
Yeah, well, the men have got the Gabrielle, so the women have the Leahs.
We've got Super Yoda.
Leah.
He knows exactly what he needs. Leah
in the back, Leah in the back.
Yeah, exactly, and that would work. But yeah, no, it would have to be Sheila. I do enjoy watching her play, because if I turn around and said Alexia Putellas, that's a dream. That's not going to happen.
No, but
Leah. I have to. You know what? If I honestly had to pick someone from the European teams, I'd take Delphine Cascarino. That is the player I would have. If there's anyone from the European teams, Adam, who would it be? Who would you take?
All right, you've really caught me on the cold there because I know nothing.
Yeah, well,
about
you pinned it.
Oh no, I know exactly what I'd have. I know exactly.
I
know who I'd have. Easy. Lynette Bierenstein, the one who scored against us for Juventus in the group stages.
She's Dutch, isn't she? She's
Dutch. Yeah, she's the short Dutch one, but she's rapid and she's got that.
I've seen how quick she is. I know.
I'd have her.
I've seen it. Lucy, is there anyone you'd pluck out of a European team for the Arsenal?
Yeah, and it's a strange one. Well, not a strange one. I'd pick Pop.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know it's an unusual, but I would have Pop. I think she's amazing.
I'm with you there. For experience, absolutely. She could be an upgrade on Jodie Taylor.
That's harsh on Jodie Taylor. She's only here to the end of the season. That's mean.
I know, but it's an experienced head. Yeah, she's got to do a few more goals.
Exactly. That's just
when Jodie Taylor leaves, we'll get Pop in.
Fair enough. Matt, last but not least, who would you pluck out of a European team?
I would probably go back to Jons Jottir just because she's got a huge long throw and she's very tall. So, and she plays on the wing as well. So you throw all those in. Imagine the chaos of taking Caitlin Ford off and then bringing Jons Jottir in, and then Katie McCabe, swapping with Katie McCabe. It would be so much chaos.
Yeah, and the speed would be impeccable. Because a pair of them are both really
just the thought of it sounds frightening. Actually,
Mead on the right, Thrustotier on the left. Yeah, just the red arrows just firing down the wings. Just
it's literally what it would be like.
But Roadrunner and Bernstein through the middle. Just three ultra fast attackers just bombing forward.
No, exactly.
Well, we barring it now. We're just playing without any strikers. We're just going to chuck on a winger every
false nines. Just a load of false nines just flying forward.
Yeah. Right, and that now wraps up our Champions League coverage. As much as I love talking about Champions League football and like massive climaxes and the fixtures, it's time to get back to the other biggest league, the Women's Super League.
Yes.
And we're at home at Meadow Park and we're taking on Man City. It is sold out. I'm not going. I know Adam is. Bit gutted I'm not going because obviously I want to see Chloe Kelly assault flagpole.
Corner flags. That as well.
I am tired.
Yeah, we all are.
I've been talking too much. So yeah, I want to see her start. I wonder if she's going to start assaulting them again after last time, which was quite funny. I mean, we know the title race is wide open.
Yes.
I mean,
this game is huge.
What are your thoughts on the title race being as open as it is? I mean, it's between the top four.
I've never been in a situation like normally with like I think the men's team.
Your name's not Lucy.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was for everyone. I do apologise.
No.
Do you know? I
Honestly,
thought I didn't know. I didn't hear my name, so I was like immediately.
Oh, sorry, I just had silence. I thought it was an open question. Lucy, go for it.
Absolutely
it's all yours.
rude.
Sorry.
You know your thoughts. Rude.
Go for it, Lucy.
So no, about the top four being this open. I love it. Of course, I love it, but I don't love that there's two Manchester clubs sitting above us. If I'm truthfully honest with you, I think do you know what? In a genuine point of view, it's great for women's football. It's we've wanted this competition. We were talking about it earlier. It's good because I mean, yeah, all right, we are the greatest team that's ever lived in English football. Well, but it's nice that it's nice to have competition because it makes it a little bit more sweeter when you win things. When you've got that competition around you. So it is fantastic for the women's game to have this competition, and it actually brings fans into stadiums as well if you've got competition going on.
Yeah.
So actually, it pains me. At the same time, it doesn't pain me. It's actually fantastic to see.
No, absolutely, definitely. I mean, we know the Manchester teams are up top, but we've got to remember we've got Brighton's rescheduled for the 10th of May.
It's just before the Chelsea game. Just before the Chelsea game.
So we've got a chance to catch up with those 3 points. There's no need to panic, as long as we don't drop any. For me personally, I mean, we've won the last 5. We've won 3, lost 1, and drawn. So it's not
against Man
all
City.
grim. The thing is, Man City have only lost their two first games of the season, and that's it. They've been like, everybody's written them off for 4th place and all that kind of stuff.
They've just slowly just snuck in there, and
because people wrote them off.
That's what Man City do.
They're a slow burn. They haven't.
I hope they burn out before the end of the season.
I hope so too.
I think my biggest worry for them is Lauren Hemp goes on international duty and burns herself out or gets injured.
As does Chloe Kelly.
Well, it's not so much that. I just feel like Lauren Hemp is the most relied on out of all 3 at the top. They've got the biggest front 3 in Europe, don't get me wrong. I know they're not in Champions League football, but they're the scariest front 3 I can think of right now. But if you take Lauren Hemp out of this equation, who plays there?
Oh, they haven't got any replacements for that spot.
No. And as Matt said,
they got like makeshift replacements, but they're not like sticking Leah Williamson in the midfield sort of thing like we were going back to. They can't do it.
No, I know, and it's just the key. I think for them to make Champions League football, she is the key to get them in. But we, as Matt said on the last episode,
it pains me because it'd be good to see her in the Champions League. It really would.
Definitely.
Ideally with another team, maybe us. There'll be one.
Yeah, well, that's another dream for now. But McCabe could miss out. Who are you going to put in that space? There's no Steph Catley.
Is wonderful. No, if I had to, this is one thing where versatility has helped us out. So Noelle is actually used to play left back before converting it as a right back at Wolfsburg. So she actually knows where to play. So I imagine what we're going to have to see is Noelle at left back, Laura at right back. My only problem is with Laura's height, do not make sure she is attacking Bunny Shaw.
Shut up.
It's not happened once.
What I will say is, can we just pretend it's a Champions League game? Because Noel Maritz is a different
gravy.
Beast. Yeah, different gravy. That's the word I wanted. Different gravy when it comes to Champions League. Can we just not pretend this is a Champions League game? Because I like that Noel Maritz as much as I love her in general, but she's just steps up her game in Europe, and I love it.
When she does play, she
has more ferocity to her in the Champions League, I feel.
Don't forget the angry throw when against PSG when she went full.
She is the natural Monreal of the team. Miss consistency. She's consistently giving you the 7 out of 8 out of 10 every week, and I think if you look at it, how she's going to on that stop on those wings, she's going to give you a hard time. You're not going to come away and be able to get those low crosses in that we saw at the Academy Stadium.
Yeah.
Whereas Haffer will be able, and then Haffer and Leo, or if it's Losser, both of them are going to be able to. That's going to be an interesting one as well, because Losser was hauled off at half time because in that game against Man City. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how she performs as well, because we're seeing Lotta go into centre back when Leah goes into the midfield for this game. So it will be interesting, that's for sure. But I think we have the home advantage, and I think we're going to see a different Arsenal than we saw last time. And
especially after that semi-final, I hope so. I hope so.
Well, they'll be buzzing. They'll be buzzing for it.
But City haven't lost any of their away games since that game against Villa. That's 8 so far. So they're just sort of riding on a high. And I'm personally, if I had to pick between City and United to get Champions League football, be City.
Yeah.
Oh, all day long. All day long. Because we'll never hear the end of it otherwise, will we, Lucy?
Oh God, no.
You already know.
If let's just put it this way, if United get into European football, they'll be out in the first leg.
Oh, 100%, 100%. But before we wrap up tonight, I'm just going to get your WSL predictions for the weekend. And the only game that was playing tomorrow is actually Brighton and Man United. And that's at 11:30 in the morning, which is really odd.
Yeah.
It's well early, that one.
Well,
Yeah,
scrap the lie-in then. I've got that one to watch as well. I've got to...
I'm having a lie-in. I've got 3 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah, I got other priorities. I am not watching that game.
Yeah.
But Brighton v Man United, we all know who's going to get the points in this game.
Daniel Carter to score a hat trick. Everyone, yeah.
Who to score a hat trick? Sorry,
Daniel Carter.
Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice.
Yeah.
Or even who is it? Was it Harry's that scored for Brighton last week? Or was it Emma Harry's?
Oh, no, Sophia Harris. I'm thinking of from Leicester.
No, it's Emma Harry's came off the bench and scored either for Reading or for Brighton. But I'd love her to come off the bench and score again if she does play for Brighton. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm sorry, people. Well, Man United's going to get the points for this. Can I get some scoreline predictions? I'm going to start with Lucy.
I think Man United maybe win 2-3-0.
Okay. Adam, are you going to back your local team?
0-0.
Wow. Okay.
Because I think Brighton will do a defensive shutout, low block. And I've seen Man United get frustrated when Everton did that at the Leeds Sports Village. And I think if they are ultra defensive and disciplined, we saw West Ham do the same at Old Trafford. They just unfortunately had Sissoko at the back, who had a Sissoko moment, and then the floodgates opened. Yeah, that's what happened. She was stupid in the box. She was a stupid penalty to give away. So if Brighton remain disciplined, as we know they can be, Chelsea will attest to it. They've been, scuppered by Brighton in the past before. I think Man United, this could be one of those banana skin moments. That being said, if they score in the first 5 minutes, Man United, it's one-way traffic and they'll run away with it. But I'm going to say maybe more heart than mind. It's going to be a 0-0.
Okay, Matt.
Well, it's going to be at Brighton as well, so it's going to be.
Is it at the Amex? Is it at the Amex or is it at Crawley?
It's at Crawley. I know.
It's at Crawley. Okay, so yeah, it's at Crawley. All right.
Just call it off, bro. Just to even the odds. But no, all kidding aside, it's one where Brighton need the points, and so do United. So you kind of hope that Brighton can get something, so then they're not in the relegation trouble. But I think United are going to be too strong. But I will probably say it's going to be a close game, and maybe like a 1-0.
Yeah. Okay. And the first game of the day, Sunday, is the Arsenal, 12:30. I am going to go for this one. I'm going to go 3-1 to the Arsenal. And I'm going to go to Matt first on this one because I made him wait till last before. So go on, Matt.
I'll go 1-0 Arsenal.
Lucy?
I will. I think we might concede. I think it'd be a 2-1 to the Arsenal. I hope.
Okay, Adam. Looking very thoughtful on the screen at this point.
I want us to win this one so bad, especially after last season when we battered them 5-0 and it was so funny. But the boot's almost on the other foot now because they were really bad of injuries that time around. They're sort of now more at full strength. We've now lost.
No, we've just beaten Bayern Munich with two of our best players out. Bruce Bone, Kim Little may be out, but I think they'll be fine.
Steph Catley's out as well. We can say worst case scenario, we've got 5 major players out. And I think Man City are going to be riding a high because they've got to win against Chelsea. I mean, why wouldn't they? They've beaten Chelsea, but and we're going to be riding high playing Bayern. And I wonder if, I don't know, maybe because those the European minutes that we've had and they had obviously a week off, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I just think maybe that might count against us. I know.
Yeah,
really to win it because if you win it,
you were reading my mind, and
if we win it, the title race is fully on. It's wide open. We are fully in it if we beat Man City, and I hope we do.
When I look at Man City's away record, I think there's more pressure on them to actually come out and do something.
Yeah,
there's that away record to hold on to.
I think
we've just beaten Bayern Munich, so I think the momentum's going to be with us going into the semi-finals. So. I'm not saying it's going to be an easy game, though. It's not going to be a walk in the park. Far from it.
Okay. You swayed me. The home record is probably. I talk about half like margins, like half margins, and so forth. Which we swing it. I think the home play, like it did in the Conti Cup, and the North Bank behind the team will swing it. So I'm going to go 2-1 to Arsenal.
Yay!
Yay!
but it's going to be close. It's going to be so close.
I know it's going to be a brilliant game. I mean, City Arsenal always a good tie.
And if it does finish 1-1, I'm blaming you, Lucy.
Yeah, right, fair enough.
for swaying me.
Our 1 o'clock kickoff on Sunday is Everton and Tottenham. I'm going for a nice, easy Evertonian win. I'm sorry, I just have no faith in Tottenham winning anything. Although our goalman Urabuchi is allowed to play in this game.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going for an Evertonian win. Doesn't matter what the scoreline is to me. As long as they win. Right, I'm going to go to Lucy on this one for the first one.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a comfortable Everton win, but I still think England may score.
That's my prediction.
I can see
you.
We've all got the same sort of idea, haven't we?
Yeah.
No matter what, Beth England's going to score one.
Yeah, I just got this feeling she's going to score.
Oh yeah,
she
was. I didn't say she wasn't going to score, but she's second best in the league at the moment. She still can't get into the lionesses. It don't make sense.
Yeah,
she's only one scoring in the Tottenham team, I think, as well.
Yeah,
she's the one who's keeping them up. So
how she's there, I don't know.
Well, it's because it's in London, isn't it? That's why. It's a London-based team. She just had to move house, and she'll actually. Do
you know what? Though, with our striker situation, I would have had her briefly.
I said this, yeah.
But I would have had her at Arsenal.
Yeah, I think if she's the one player that likes to score against us, and that would have been handy actually.
Well, do you know what? If she had was with us, she wouldn't have done that.
I think the problem was that Chelsea would have turned around and said no because
Chelsea would have sold to us. There's no way.
Title race.
Like
thing is, I think with Russo, I think with the Champions League looming as well, and if Man United get it or not, they clutched onto it just through the thought of getting Champions League football. If they don't get Champions League football,
but the thing is, there was the whole tweet thing, like Ella Toomey put up and saying goodbye. So she almost did it. I'm confident in that. Tooney wouldn't tweet something like that. Do you know what I mean? And plus the fact that Tooney's moved out.
Moved out of where?
They were living together. Alicia and Tooney, yeah.
They're house.
They're no longer living together. So yeah. But anyway, let's
move on.
Yeah.
Move on from the gossip corner.
Yeah, exactly. Leicester Reading relegation battle.
Hold on, I haven't had my prediction for it.
And I'm not allowed my prediction either.
Oh dear.
Who you predicted? Right. What are you predicting?
Who wants to go?
3-1. Everton's going to win 3-1, and Beth England will score.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm thinking of the Merseyside derby, and Courtney Brosnan was having a fantastic game. She'll be annoyed that she didn't get a clean sheet, so I do have that in mind. I think Everton are going to win this quite comfortably. I think it's going to be 3-0. Gabby George again to score because
I hope so.
She's going to be so annoyed.
From the wing, ideally. From the wing, just to kill the top corner.
The way she just took those the goal, very similar to her goal of the month one. I tell you what, we're going to have a hard time thinking about goal of the months if we're honest. But I'm going to say
versus Spurs. There you go, easy.
Yeah.
I'll go 3-0 Everton.
Nice, right. Relegation battle. Let's go back to this again before I forget.
Yeah.
Leicester Reading.
Who do you want to go?
Anyone can just take a stab at it.
1-0 Leicester.
1-0 Leicester.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, that's bold.
I think
2-0 Reading.
I think the most Leicester could get out of it is a point, if I'm truthfully honest with you.
Yeah. I just think the ultra survivors that are Reading, tough to crack, but with a bit of skill up front. 2-0 Reading, I see it.
Sooner or later, we will lose Reading because they're just not going to be able to keep up. And I have a feeling
they're not. But it'd be sad. It'd be a sad day when they go.
It will be the last one. But then when Bristol comes up, we'll have two. If Bristol come up next season, we'll have two championship teams or two non-prem teams in the WSL.
Yeah, no, it is nice to see. I will say that. All right, our 5 o'clock game on Sunday. West Ham, Liverpool. Liverpool are away to West Ham. I'm going to go with Matt first because he was at the Merseyside.
I'm trying to think about that, but I think Liverpool just know they only need a point to stay up, and West Ham.
Is that it? Is it a point now they only need?
Yeah, the 16 points will basically save you from relegation.
Wow.
So West Ham are already safe, so they can lose this one, and Liverpool can win this one 1-0, to be honest, Liverpool 1-0.
Okay.
Is this at Liverpool or is this at West Ham?
West Ham.
West Ham.
Right. West Ham are usually strong first half teams. So I'm going to think it's going to be a bit helter-skelter. I think this will be the game of the day. I'm going for a 2-2 draw.
Game of the day is at 6:45.
No,
I don't care what you say.
No, not in terms of the opposition, but just in terms of the scoreline. I think it's going to be the surprise package of the day. I think it's going to be 2.
No, my surprise package is going to be the next one we're going to talk about.
Oh, I know you've been looking forward to this one.
Yes, it's a juicy one.
Oh yes.
But Luce, what's your score prediction?
I'm going to go. It's just a crazy one, but I think I'm going to go for a 1-0 West Ham win.
Do you know what? We're on
1-0.
the same page again. I was thinking that, but then I'm still thinking Liverpool are in a bit of a roll.
Yeah, there is that.
So I'm going to go for 1-1 for me personally. Right, the juiciest fixture second juiciest fixture.
Apart from
it's
ours.
the Villa. Second,
Yeah.
That's right, second.
Yeah.
Is Aston Villa Chelsea. I want a Rachel Daly hat trick and a Jordan Nobbs to score.
And
I
a
want
Patsy goal.
I want Kenza Darley to score because I scored 170 points on my fantasy football last week and I had a great week thanks to Villa and I captained Rachel Daly, so
Nice call.
get them points. Oh yeah, she's been.
See, I think this might be game of the weekend. You know.
Second.
So yeah,
second.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I'm gonna go 3-1 Villa. Sam Kerr's gonna score, no doubt.
Wow.
See, I was going to go 3-2 Villa.
I was just thinking that, and you've taken that from me.
Yeah, sorry, I got it first.
I like that. It sounds more like it. Now that's a game. Because we definitely know there's going to be no Millie Bright this weekend.
Yes, we do.
Do you know what, though? I will say, I do like the direction Villa are going in at the moment. It's annoying me.
100%.
I love it.
And it pains me to say, I've never been a huge fan of Alicia Lehmann, but I will give her credit. She's really growing into herself in this Villa team, and she's actually learning how to play that.
Jordan Nobbs and Rachel Daly around her. What do you expect?
She's more than a bum at the moment. She's actually playing football.
Hannah Hampton looks to have sorted herself out now. She's now coming back to the goalkeeper we were all expecting. So
yes,
it's good to see.
Exactly. Sometimes there's a dip and then they get back on track, and I love it's things we love to see. Put it that way.
Absolutely. And Carla Ward's a great manager when she's not, lying about ticket sales. She's actually a really good.
Oh yeah. If you are listening, we did club all our free tickets together. Managed to save enough money for goal line technology.
Exactly. This one. I mean, I feel like if Chelsea are going to drop points because they played Man City. They played Man City home and away now, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
They played them home and away. They played Man United home and away. It's just us left.
Yeah.
So of all the fixtures left, this is probably the one that's got the best chance of them dropping points in, and it's away. It's at Villa. I don't know if it's at Villa Park or if it's at the Bescott.
It might be at Villa Park. I have a feeling because it's Chelsea.
They beat Man City at Villa Park. Remember that
in
what was I'd say is the game of the season so far, which is a precedent.
Hello, Leon.
In WSL.
Oh, you didn't say that. You said game of the season.
I said a WSL season, and if it was Champions League, it would be the Lyon win.
Right.
Yeah.
Give you that.
Right. But Villa could do it, and Chelsea on the rack. They've got injuries. I mean, Leopold, we now found out bleeds red like the Arsenal. We've got Millie Bright is now no longer in the team. I think somebody else saw. I can't remember their name, but I just saw players leave, dropping left, right, and centre. They went 120 minutes. They went the late. I feel if they'd lost that game against Lyon, I would have really backed Villa to win because they'd be on the floor. I just wonder if that penalty win has given them a bit of a sort of psychological boost.
But Villa are on a roll anyway.
I know.
But also they could be worn out from it as well. It could knock the stuffing out of them.
Villa have had the last 5 had 4 wins.
I know, but
they've
Chelsea
not lost.
Chelsea
and the last 5 have lost 1, won 3, and drawn 1.
Yeah, but Chelsea can go ultra defensive and then just get a Sam Kerr or Lauren James Welding and win it. So I think Villa are going to dominate this game.
They can definitely go ultra defensive without Millie Bright in that defence.
I think they will go back 5. I think Chelsea will. I think Villa will dominate them, but I think Chelsea will win it 1-0 with a Sam Kerr goal, and it'd be one of those really frustrating afternoons where it's just like, rah! And Emma Hayes will just do an Emma Hayes, and they'll be like, there we go, mentality monsters.
I just want to see her after when we played her, like Kevin the teenager.
You know what?
No.
Then you
I
mean
was
not.
Kevin from Kevin and Perry go along. I'm still looking for a Perry. I'm half tempted to give it to the Man United manager, to be honest with you.
I was thinking a lot about this while you guys were talking.
It's unfair that we're moving our game because of a Champions League. I'm like, yes, you understand.
3 away games in 7 days. Get
fair.
over it.
Yeah.
Villa actually played Chelsea again in the FA Cup the next time around.
Yeah, I know. So which are you going to give up the points, or are you going to take?
I would rather Chelsea.
That is the question.
If I was Villa, ideally you'd want them to do both because you're doing everyone else a favour as well as.
No, you're not. No. You look at the bigger picture because Man United are on the other side of that draw, and who's got the best chance of beating Man United in the final? Aston Villa or Chelsea?
I'd rather Aston Villa go out and beat Man United.
I'd rather that.
Exactly.
No, I would rather that. But who's got the best chance of beating Man United in the final? Out of the two of them.
Either one.
Brighton could surprise everyone. Take it.
Oh, please, Brighton, save us all, Brighton.
And it's Brighton versus Aston Villa in
the final. Do you know whose
Brighton
dream
Villa
that
final?
was? That was Farrah Williams' dream on her podcast. That's what she said. I was sitting there thinking, hang on, I heard this somewhere before.
A Brighton Villa final will be great, just to get a new name on the trophy.
It would throw everything out of the window as well if it's that final
and
as well.
It would show these clubs like, put the hard yards in and you can win something. It's not beyond the realms of possibility, but you got to work hard for it.
It
just
goes to show how much Kyla Ward's done in such a short amount of time. She was only there from the start of last season, and she's sort of done a project, like a mini project in 2 years, which is huge.
Yeah.
The fact is that maybe next season you're looking at pushing towards Champions League space.
They're going to be scary next season. But they are the team that will have an effect on this title race because I think they've got to play everyone. We've got to play them on the last day, which, when you looked at the fixture at the start of the season, you thought, that's not too bad. But you look at it now and you think that could be like Chelsea versus Man United last season on the final day. That could be a real, I know we beat them 4-1 at Villa Park early in the season, but they've now got Nobbs. They've now obviously got Patterson and they
are a different beast at the moment. They really are.
They are scary.
Though, because of the loan rules. But if I had to predict this game, I have a feeling I would push towards that 4-3 that Villa had against City.
Oh, please, that'd be so good.
But it'll be more. I just have a feeling that's kind of a bit. You want the drama, but at the same time, you want Villa to be comfortable. I have a feeling that Villa are going to win this.
Chelsea would be uncharacteristically open. I know there's nobody bright. You'd have to rely on, and I know Buchanan hasn't settled, but Buchanan would have to absolutely be ultra Buchanan for that to go to levels of 4 goals conceded. I know they were very bad against Man City, 2-0, and then we'll know if Villa's winning if Emma Hayes makes a substitution after 10 minutes. That's when we know that Villa have got a real chance.
First half hour. It's always the first half hour in the last few games.
That's when you know that you've got them.
But anyway, guys. I've loved doing the podcast tonight. Thank you for coming on. We've been at it for quite a fair bit now. But I'm going to wrap up the show.
What are we clocking in at, Lottie?
Tuesday. Huh?
What are we clocking in at? We're clocking out at even.
Oh, an hour and a half. Wherever you are in the world tonight, thank you for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the content. If you do want to join us again, we'll be back on Tuesday night with our review of Man City before we hit the international break. But for now, it's goodbye from all of us.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.